Well, hello and welcome back to Sunday Stitching. So this week we are working on the Roxy Creation prompt number 3. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention this. For those of you that are wanting to get into stitching, but you feel that maybe the Roxy's general stitchery is a little bit too much for you to take on, and you want something short and simple to do, I'm going to be doing the hashtag Sew My Heart on the 18th of February. It's a little collaboration. It's been put together by Recrafted by Carol and Susan Hiles. You can jump on YouTube and check them out. And basically you're to sew a heart. You can see I've already cut my front and back out. I'm going to stuff mine and then do various things to it. So it's a nice, simple, easy project. All you do is sew a heart, any style, any shape, any design that you like, and just share your work. So just something to get into if you want to be doing some stitching. You feel you want a purpose for it, but you don't feel overly confident to do a big project. So we're on prompt number 3, and prompt number 3 was vegetable garden or scarecrow. So as always, I've done my crazy quilt. I've got my normal size piece of cotton. This time I worked in reverse and I've put my crazy quilt edge on first because I wanted his hands and feet and his hat to sort of come right to the forward. So I've just used a couple of different pieces of cotton fabric for his trousers and his shirts. I've got some sewn ribbon for the the wooden pole that he's on. I've used a little bit of builder's cloth for his face and some brushed cotton for his hat, and this is just some garden twine, and I've just sort of frayed it up so it looks like there's a lot more in there than there is, and that's all just coming out from his sleeves and his trouser bottoms. And then I've used the same thing for his hat. Still need to do his buttons. And I was going to do him in a field of wheat. Well, I am going to do him in a field of wheat, but obviously it's supposed, although that is food, it's supposed to be a vegetable garden. So I thought maybe I might do some carrots down here. I did see in the Facebook group that one of the ladies had done some fantastic carrots with French knots and little green threads coming out. So I might have a go at that. And then maybe we'll get the garden path. I think it's in this corner here. So let's get started on our wheat. So basically what I've done, I've just thread my needle and got started, and then I had to stop the video and I forgot to press pause and I actually stopped the video. So we're starting again. So I've just done one stitch there, and then I've come half length for the second stitch. Then I'm going back to the top of that stitch and pulling my thread through. I've got a really long piece of thread, and doing my stitch to the length that I want, and then bring the needle, bring the needle to the top of that thread, and that's how I'm going to get my stalk going. Okay, so this is the stalk of the wheat coming up here. And I'm getting 2 different wheat heads, as it were, coming out of this stalk. So we've broken it into, as it were, 2 lines. Can you see there? Maybe even 3. Let's go for 3. Just gonna feed the stalk, and I'm going to stop when I get to his trouser leg because his shirt is shedding. I'm going to stop when I get to the trouser leg because this is supposed to be in the background, this particular one, and I will do others that are in the front. No, not there, Claire. That's the wrong hole. So, sorry, I charged in there with all that information. Is everybody happy and well? Crafting away. So I'm just doing these straight stitches. And there's the first twisty knot of the day. You always get these when you've got a long thread. It's not a real knot, so you can easily pull it out. You can see now where these are starting to go their own little way. We've got, I really should have my glasses on. I've got 3 different sort of stalks running here. And just backwards and forwards. Nice and calm. Just clonked my coffee cup. At least it didn't go over. When I've got these stitches done, I will go back and wind the thread around them so that you don't see so much of the individual stitches, more of a sort of twisted plant stalk. And then that one's going to come up there. And that one is going to end there. And then we go back over to that one. Whoops. There we go. Don't stretch that out too far. Oh, look at that, that was exactly the same hole because it's pulled the stitch out. Couldn't do that again if I tried, I bet. Right, so then that one there, and that's going to go in there. Okay, so there's our first 3, and then what I'm going to do is come up just under his trouser leg like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to use my needle back to go under the stitch and then the other way. So this one, we came in from the left and out at the right. So now we're going in at the right and out at the left, or top and bottom, whatever. Yeah. And by doing this, we're just joining those stitches together and it looks more like a continuous line than a row of stitches. Okay, it's not straight, but then I don't think nature is straight. Now I'm sure you will need to zoom in to have a close look at what I'm doing because I've got the camera quite high, but I'm afraid that every time I zoom in I end up working out of the screen, so I'm afraid zooming in is a bit of a no-no. Okay, so then we're that side. Then we come back this side. We're now working on the middle row of stitches. Okay, like so. You can hear Boo groaning in the background probably. Her dad's gone out. Boo, Mummy's doing a video. Her dad's gone out. Hubby's popped round to my daughter's. She needs some work doing around there. So, and then I'm just going to pin through and then come back up on the edge of his trousers. and then we'll go under that one. So obviously she's protecting Mummy, and there's things going on in the street, so she's just letting them know that she's here and she won't take any rubbish, because that's what she does for Mummy. And then that one can just poke through there. So, whoops, got it caught in them pins. Okay, so there are our 3 wheat stalks. Now obviously they're a lot taller, but they go up there and they come out behind his head. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to start another one here, just by his leg. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to do a stitch, but we'll just do the single one this time. And this one's going to feed all the way. So I've got 2 stitches there, and we're going to wind our thread. So I'm going from the bottom to the top, and then from the top to the bottom. Try not to sew in his rope feet. Okay, and then I'm going underneath there, and I'm going to angle my needle on that stitch line to work out where it's going to come out, and it's going to come out about there. Okay, so now we'll carry on the same. So there's the stitch, we go through there, and come all the way up. Then when I get to the top, here above his arm, I'm going to do my wheat heads. And what I'm going to do for my wheat heads is I'm going to do like a double lazy daisy, I think. Might change my mind when we get there, but we'll see. So it'll be like a chain stitch. But then I'll do a little stitch in the middle of it. I'll show you what I mean. Let's just get to the top here so that we've got where we need to be. This one's gone a bit diagonal rather than straight, hasn't it? It's a bit weird. It's probably because I'm talking and not really concentrating. Let's try and make sure we get a straight one this time. That's better. I don't know what was going on there. Right. Then back through, and we're going from right. I'm using the point this time because the stitch was too small for me to get the end of the needle in. Right to left, left to right. All the way down again, as we did last time. Okay, so we've got our stalk continued up, and now I could knot it and cut it, but it almost feels easier just to slip through a couple of stitches and come out just on his sleeve. Okay, so now I want, and to keep a straight line this time, I'm actually going to do a running stitch, because I want to make sure that my wheat heads have got a nice line on them. Then I can just come back down through there, back out there, do like a reverse running stitch, filling in the gaps. See, I'm no stitcher, I do it all wrong and back to front, but I'm doing it because I enjoy it, so that's all that really matters. And then out the bottom of that one and back down. So now I've got this nice straight line. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I hope you can see this, is I'm going to start on that stitch join there, and I'm coming through from the back, don't stretch it, Claire, and I'm going back down almost in exactly the same space, but I want to get a chain, so hold that with my finger and work out how big I want my wheat to be, and I think I want it to be that big. So then I've gone through my loop, oh, we had a knot, and I'm just going to pull my loop like that, okay, and then go back down to hold it in place. And then having held it in place, what I'm going to do now is come inside the bottom of that chain and just do a stitch to fill it up, and then I'm going to that other stitch seam through the back, and now you can see I've got like a wheat, or it's my version of a wheat anyway, and I'm going to go back down next to it. You could work out where you want your wheat to be and actually wrap your thread. That will also give you a chain stitch like so, and then you can go back down behind it, back up through it, and then close the pattern. And now I'm going to the bottom of the other stitch. So basically I'm putting a wheat on every stitch seam, if that makes sense, where the two stitches join. That is where I'm putting an ear, isn't it? An ear of wheat, I think. Push it down. And fill in the gap. Okay, now I know that wheat doesn't grow like that because they're more like leaves on a plant. It grows much more together. So now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to find two spaces between those two to put two more in. So it's a much fuller event. So I've gone up and down, find my wheat size, hook my chain over my needle. Why am I making that so cockeyed? Anyway, and just pull that through and stitch exactly the same. Get his hand out the way. Get out the way, hand. And then we filled that in. And then I can just get another one in there. So then lock it in place and come back the other way and fill up the hole. So now you can see it's much more like an ear of corn. It's much more solid. Ear of corn, ear of wheat. Yeah? And I will carry that all the way up there. So you don't necessarily want to watch me carry on doing that, I don't think. So for now, I'm going to close that off. Okay, and now I want to do his buttons. What colour thread should we do his buttons in? Don't want to use the gold again because obviously we've got lots of wheat to go on. We could use green, although we want green for our carrots. So put that down there for our carrots. What about this purple? It's nice and different, isn't it? So I'm going to get a new needle and put my thread in here. Another big eye, but a much shorter actual needle. And then all I'm going to do is probably 3 French knots to make the buttons, or will I get, if I do 5 wraps, will I get a big enough knot? Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull that down. I think actually a wrap of 5 is enough to operate as a single button. Holding his hair out the way. Yes, that'll work. And obviously don't forget this is a Frixion pen, so these will all iron off, all these dots. 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops. Yeah, they work quite nicely. So I'm just going to the top of my circle. 2, 3, 4, 5. Back down. That one's actually bigger. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. Doesn't matter, does it? It's a raggedy Scarecrow. It's supposed to be uneven and tatty. Somehow makes him cute, I think, but that's just my take on it. Whoops. Lost my needle on the back. There it is. And then our last one. So that's his buttons done. Another little job jogged. We started the wheat, so that's great. We can finish that up. Let's close off our buttons. And now I thought I'd show you some carrots. Now obviously this is what I saw somebody else do, so I am semi-cheating. I think I'm going to use all of the 6 strands because I want really chunky French knots. So we'll use all 6, I think. We'll try and do carrots. So I really should give credit where credit's due, but unfortunately I didn't note the name of the lady that did these lovely little French knot carrots. But as I say, it's not my idea, so I think we'll start there just because why not, like so, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think as we've got all 6 threads, 4 might be enough. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think so. And then I just want to make sure I don't come off the edge of my fabric. So I go there, I think. Like so. I did 4, didn't I? Mind you, they're carrots, they could grow at different rates. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I think we'll go 1 there. Whoops, stitching my scissors, that's no good, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, farmers, I say farmers, but of course it's supposed to be a garden at home, isn't it? So it's not supposed to be strict farmers, but I was going to say they always plant things in rows, don't they? So maybe we should do, you know, carrots in rows, but maybe there'd be a little bit more higgledy-piggledy if it was at home. So, not so regimented. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to the lady that did these carrots, because I think it was an inspirational idea, and I'm really glad I saw it. And I hope you don't mind me stealing your idea. Yes, you see, that one's no good because it's come off my back thread. So it needs to be there. No, it doesn't, Claire. It needs to be over there. That's better. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'll just do this row and then I'll do some stalks. I think I did 5 wraps that time, so this one will probably be a bit bigger. Oh, perhaps I didn't, perhaps I only did 4. Okay. So there's our carrots. Let's give them a bit of greenery now. I can come back and finish them later on. What? Right, so then let's find another needle for our green. Don't want too much. I'm going to split this down to 3. Like, whoops, not quite like that. Like that. And get this spread in. And obviously, if you are the lady that did these carrots and you happen to be watching, please claim them. Because, you know, I 100% owe you credit, and I'm very happy to give it. So what I'm going to do, I don't know what she did, is I'm going to go back down there like that and do a little knot on the back. So I've just got a loop. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Do a little knot on the back to make sure it stays put. And then if I do that on each one, and then I can come along and I can snip the loop, and that will give me the greenery coming out. Like that. Do another little knot to make sure they stay in place. Like so. Oh, I pulled that one right through. I'm going to have to redo that one. And then just by snipping the threads, you get these greenery bits from my carrots. So that's how I'm going to do it. I don't know if that's how the lady in question did it, but that's how I'm doing it. Don't forget to do the little knot, because otherwise it's not going to stay in place and it will just pull through. And if it's a continual line without a knot, you'll pull them all out. May even be actually that the lady that did them took them out of a book. I know Rachel and Sarah have been recommending a number of books, so it may not have been that lady's original idea. I don't know. I don't know who did it first. I'm just telling you it wasn't me. I saw it, I liked it, I'm doing it. So And they are obviously going the wrong way for some weird reason. But, you know, it is what it is. So, hubby and I got so fed up with not having anything to watch, we have gone right back to series 1 of Doc Martin. And we started right back at the very beginning because I only found it on something like series 7. So I don't really know the lead up story. So it sort of made sense. So yeah, and I've got to be honest, oh see, you put it too tight if you're not careful. That's why you need to do those fixing knots. We're thoroughly enjoying it. Don't know if anybody's looking for something to watch, or you've already seen it all and you know the story that I'm talking about. But we are thoroughly enjoying it, and it's very rare that we both want to watch something. Usually he tolerates me watching something, or I do him. But no, we're both thoroughly enjoying it. So another little knot. Pull the needle out, and then I'm just going to snip up the others. There you go. I've got carrots down here in this little patch, and I've got my wheat starting up in the big area. Let's get a little bit of pathway down. Put it down here. I'm sure it belongs in this corner this time. So just put in a bit of my raw wool fibres. That's how I've been doing my path, as you know. And just pull the fibres out separate, and then I sort of sew them all back together. Sounds mad really, isn't it? But so we've got a bit of red, quite a lot of brown. Okay, and then we need to find a nice brown thread. Where is my chocolate brown thread gone? Oops, sorry, I think I just jogged the camera trying to find a thread. Shall I bring the box closer? That might make life a little bit easier, mightn't it? Why can't I find any brown thread? Story of my life, really. I'll have to use that. Oh, that's going to really stand out though, isn't it? Oh, there you go. There it is. It's because we're running low. Look. So, chocolate thread is needed to be purchased, is it not? Right. That's all that garden gate sewing, isn't it? Actually, do you know what? I could nip round the corner and bully beg from my daughter, because I know she's got loads of yarn round there that she had for Christmas. Because still one of her Christmas presents, how naughty. But I could steal a bit of that and replace it. It does mean I can get this job finished. And then basically what I did was I just stitched through it all. That's how I did my path. And the stitches were not only holding all this in place, but they were acting as sort of an additional mark in the pathway. Okay. Stitched all that down. Whoops. So just really stab stitches. They're not really even seed stitches because they're a bit too big. So I'm just literally doing random stitches to hold all this down and add a little bit of interest to it. That's all I'm doing. Totally. Right, now of course I'm going off the edge of my piece, so I need to make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm just bringing that back now, wrapping it over on itself. That's better. Sorry you can't see, can you? I was facing it towards me, I do apologise. So there we go. We've got our messy path. Stitched down in this bottom corner. Oh, you can see it now, can't you? Okay, so we've got our messy path in this bottom corner like this, because this fabric's too thick wide, look, because it actually, should we trim it so you can see what I mean? It actually, those scissors are not going to work. It actually finishes it's trimmed too wide, you see. So there you see, now it's right on the edge. Yeah, okay, so that is our pathway. I'm just going to put a few more brown stubby stitches in here. We've done, oh, we've made a start on our carrots, and we've made a start on our wheat. Whoops, and I've pulled the needle off the thread, so that seems like a perfect place to stop. So there you go, so we started on our wheat, started on our carrots, and we've got our path done. So that was quite a lot. Oh, and our buttons, we did our buttons as well. Quite a lot of happy Sunday stitching. Please remember, if you fancy giving it a go, hashtag Sew My Heart, 18th of February. Stay safe. I'll be back with you next Sunday for more stitching. Bye-bye.